Anthony Blinken, Joe Biden's Secretary of State, just admitted that Donald Trump fell for the same trick that Israel tried to trick Biden into doing, but Biden rejected.
October 7th attack on Israel, the horrific attack on Israel by Hamas. The Israelis were insisting that in the north, Hezbollah from Lebanon was about to attack. And they wanted to strike preemptively against Hezbollah. And President Biden said, look, we're with you, we'll always be with you in defending Israel, and if you're attacked, we're there, but we're not there if you're going to start something. And we came within about 30 minutes of having a war in the north based on bad information that the Israelis had about an imminent attack from Hezbollah. We were able to avert that. But Biden was very insistent. We're not going to do something that you initiate, that you start. It's very different than defending Israel when it's been attacked.
So now, ladies and gentlemen, this fuels more speculation, more questions, right? Because now you have to ask yourselves, assuming Anthony Blinken is correct, why would Donald Trump fall for it? And the most obvious answer would be, well, he's going to think that, A, I'm smarter than Biden. Biden didn't know a good opportunity when he saw it, because that's how Donald Trump is. Or does this all go back to Jeffrey Epstein, right? Because if you follow what's happening with Jeffrey Epstein, then you would also understand what Israel's role was with Jeffrey Epstein and what information they might actually have on Donald Trump. And why is this all of a sudden coming out right now? All I can say is this: Donald Trump has a lot of explaining to do now, because when you have Anthony Blinken getting on record and saying things like this, basically saying we didn't fall for it, but Donald Trump did, and now look at what's going on around the world, it's evidence, it's more proof that obviously Donald Trump has only one goal right now, which is to protect only himself, not the American people.
Oh, man.
That's bullshit. All for what?
Are we great yet?
Yeah, thanks a lot. We're fucking great now. More, and you know what else too? Your meat, your groceries.
Oh, yeah.
Through the roof, because guess who carries those groceries? Diesel truck drivers. They're gonna have to pay more. They're not gonna take the loss. You are. God damn it.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast. But here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money. And then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I'd just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter Agent Stories, and there's something that I want to talk about, and I just want to talk about how Trump loyalists, Trump supporters are feeling the heat of the decisions that they made. They are regretting even just knowing Mr. Donald Trump, let alone voting for him. Because he's messing with people's life, he's messing with people's future. Majority of American dreams have been killed. People that had dreams, goals, all of these were just flew away in the hands of people. And all this was made by people that decided to vote for Mr. Donald Trump. But right now they are coming out. They are complaining about how the prices of fuel have skyrocketed. And this is really affecting them negatively. They are complaining about all these things. But they need to understand one thing. They're the ones who chose this. They're the ones who made this happen. Well, today, the entire world is losing hope. The entire world is looking at Mr. Donald Trump. The entire world is looking at the United States and how it operates. And everyone is just losing hope at Mr. Donald Trump. And people outside the United States, including China, Russia, and even some African countries, are now starting to see the mediocrity inside the United States. Because we are looking at a country that can spend billions of money in funding war, spend billions of money in paying people the ICE raids that terrorize American citizens, spends money in sending money into war rather than caring about the citizens of the United States. And right now, while all this is happening, people are starting to become nostalgic with Obama, with Joe Biden, because people are seeing them as better option as to what they chose this time round. Some people are also coming out and complaining that this all is happening because the United States doesn't trust a black woman. And so all of these are the consequences of feeling that it is safe, of having a white man rather than choosing a black woman to make the decisions for the United States. And they are recognizing that they are where they are today because of racism, because of the tendency of the United States having this notion that a black woman cannot run a country. So brothers and sisters, you are going to see pain in the faces of these people that are talking. You are going to see devastation, disillusionment in the faces of these people that are going to share their personal anecdotes with Mr. Donald Trump. So brothers and sisters, I present you the video. I want you to watch the video, and then I'll be back. I'll be sharing my 2 cents in regards to this. So let's watch the video.
Going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long. That oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
Okay, so boom, the Iranians been plotting on America's top for the last 20 years, and this shows. Gas is $8.21 in Los Angeles. Now, look, you don't know me, you don't got to listen to me. But if I were you, I would tuck whatever I could in my mattress for the time being, because it's getting real ugly out here. And according to the experts, the way the Iranians is moving right now, they finna make sure everybody pockets hurt. And this gonna be on. The Iranians got out here looking goofy, okay? They said, oh, you want a holy war, homie? Don't trip, we got something for you. And since you finna take this L anyway, let's start with Leviticus, an eye for an eye. You unalived our supreme leader, and so we finna come get you, dog. Don't worry about it. The way that the Iranians have the game set up right now, they can take out the entire global economy. Let me explain. The Iranians have been attacking the GCC countries. The GCC is a political and economic union of 6 Arab nations, which include Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. So now the GCC is known for having buku oil reserves, but also for hosting American bases. And the Iranians had already called their neighbors, put out a public statement, and made it clear, like, hey, check this out. It's not personal, but if you got Americans over there, we finna bomb on you, bruh. Like, we running up over there, we dropping them things, it is what it is. Like we said, we ain't got no beef with you, but we got beef with them. So if they up over there, they finna get smacked. Because we said on site, it is what it is, we don't care where they are. And even the worst part, and I ain't even got to the part where old boy done set us up to get our pockets broke, okay? So, out in the Persian Gulf area, those countries do not have a fresh water system. They don't have fresh water because they don't really have lakes and rivers and stuff. They don't get a lot of rainfall either. So, they are dependent on ocean water. But you can't just drink seawater, okay? Because it got salt in it. You have to take the salt out of the water so that it's usable. So, they have these things called desalination plants that they use to clean the water so that it is usable for the people to drink and use to plant food and stuff like that. Well, Iran started bombing them mugs, okay? And they like, yeah, ain't nobody finna have no water over here. They cannot survive over there without them plants. So now this is where it gets out of pocket, literally. So the Iranians got people scared to come through the Strait of Hormuz. Now, why do that matter? Well, because 20% of the oil reserves that go around the world comes through that little strip of water. And that oil go to China, Japan, India, the USA, all that kind of stuff. And it really ain't no other way to get it through there, right? So this is why this is important. So them Gulf countries I was telling you about, Saudi Arabia and them, for example, Saudi Arabia's main economy is based off them selling oil. While they have been trying to scale out and get other investments, that is primarily where their income comes from. So if can't nobody get through that little strip of water, they can't sell their oil. This is why it's a problem for us. My understanding is that a lot of our AI companies and stuff have started investing in those areas, right? In return, those areas are paying for those investments with the money that they make by selling oil. So if they can't sell no oil, then they can't make no bread, which means they can't run us our dough back, run us our money, which means what? Yeah, we not getting our ends, our pockets is getting low, and you already know that people been saying that, you know, the economy and the market is based on this little AI bubble, and the bubble might burst and this, that, and the third. So Iran said, let the bubbles burst if they need to. On top of that, 90% of the GCC's food supply comes through that little strip of water. So now, not only can you not get your product through so you can make some money, but you can't even get no food through there. And so was like, no, it's okay. Just go on and take your boat through there. It's okay. We're going to protect you. We got you. We're going to have insurance for you. And the vessels was like, no, we're not doing it because them missiles and bombs and stuff ain't got no name on it. And Iran had already said, showed they off their rocker because you come through that mud and ain't bombing. And so they was asking Iran, like, why y'all got it blocked? Why y'all not let people go through there? And Iran was like, it ain't us. We just fighting back. So if you come through, it is what it is. Like, just be mindful that we squabbling and we not finna stop because you think you want to run your product through here. So if they don't allow product to go through that little strip right there, it could seriously mess up the economy around the entire world because everybody is dependent on that oil. We need that oil for the boats to even ride to bring us products from other places. We need the oil to get on airplanes and travel and stuff like that. So not only does that cause the price of gas to go up, which is why gas is $8 and some change in Los Angeles, but the price of all our foods and products and stuff that also get transported are going to go up too. Okay, so is this why y'all keep swap? Okay, how did y'all deserve?
Hey, MAGA. Remember how you were so excited to vote for Donald Trump because he said he was going to end all wars and not start any wars and he was going to bring down your prices and make everything more affordable? Then less than a week into office, he completely took back that second part, saying, oh, I'm not going to bring down prices, that's too hard. But of course he took back that whole peace thing too because he was the first president to ever bomb 7 countries in one single year. But now, just like every other Republican in the last 40 years, he's gotten us into another forever war in the Middle East, which he said there will be no deal with Iran, just unconditional surrender. Now, some of you seem to have caught on as to what this is doing to your gas prices that he also said he would bring down. Gas prices around the country have gone up about 40 to 50 cents in just the last week. And that's because the day after he and Netanyahu started bombing Iran, experts said that the cost of a barrel of oil could go up to $100. As of today, a week after they started bombing, you know what it is? $93. And it's just going to keep going up. And you guys can't even really deny this anymore because I've lost track of the number of videos I've seen in just the last 2 days of Trump supporters throwing away their red hats, throwing away their Trump flags, and ripping their Trump bumper stickers off their truck. And they're doing it over gas prices. So apparently for 10 years, it wasn't the lies that bothered you, it wasn't the misogyny, the racism, or even the pedophilia. It was gas prices that finally broke you out of the cult. But I don't know if you realize just how bad this is. Because while your dear leader, your Jesus figure, is telling you that affordability is a joke and everybody across the country is rich now, not only were our prices going up before this because of his shitty tariffs, but because the cost of gas is going up, the cost of everything is going to go up due to increased transportation prices. Which means that every single thing you buy, including those eggs that you really wanted to be cheaper, are going to be astronomically insane. So how does it feel to vote 3 times for a man who lied to your face about absolutely everything? He didn't make life more affordable for you. He didn't make your insurance or your prescription drugs more affordable for you. He didn't make your house more affordable. He didn't bring down your grocery prices or your gas prices. He's actively hiding the Epstein files. And he's just driving all of you into the poorhouse as he continues to make you all look like traitors to your fucking country.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I missed my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents.
Yo, this is not a serious nation. This shit is like, it's like, and I can make this joke because I'm Nigerian. This is like Nigeria if it had social services. I'm so serious. This is, they said, I miss my Uncle Joe. Dog Brandon, Sleepy Joe, the one that y'all let the orange clown convince you didn't do no good. But anyway, another part, and I'm going to keep my thing brief, and I'm going to get out of here. Another part that annoys me, though, is having to see people like that go like, yeah, you know, between the two of them, I thought he was a better choice. That's annoying. He wasn't. I think that there are about 100 people, even career politicians, corporate, whatever, that will get better than that guy as a president. I seen an example once, didn't see it again. The second thing is, though, also, is that you can see hints. He didn't get, you can go, I'll tag the full video at the bottom so you can watch it. You can see hints that some of this shit, they trying to rationalize it in their head, that it's this weird, like, Kamala was mega super bad, but Joe Biden was okay. And it's like, part of the criticisms that I saw from the left was that she wouldn't break away from Joe Biden on multiple things, right? And she was willing to do a lot of the same stuff that he was doing. But then I got people on the right now that can admit, maybe Trump wasn't a good idea, but never Kamala either. But, oh, by the way, the guy that she was vice president under, he was good. But I couldn't trust her as a former vice president. Yeah, that's...
Did you fill up today or just...
No, I just got $15.
Is that because it's high?
Yeah, I can't afford to fill up right now. Payday isn't right now. I don't know that we're going to wake up from one day to the next, to be honest.
The only thing that I know that the prices went up, it's not good. So he's the president, so he needs to consider it when the prices goes up. It's not good for the lives of the people.
Gas prices in the US have been rising since the war in Iran began. They've gone up on average about 50 cents a gallon, and here in DC that puts it about $3.50. Now in Australian terms, a litre works out about 125 Australian here. That might not seem much, but motorists here are already feeling the pinch.
I just heard up 50 cents on the dollar so far since the war. Probably get a little worse before it levels out, would be my guess.
The president says, look, they will go up for a short time, but it's worth it for America's security. What do you think about that?
We don't really know how long this is going to take. We don't know how long his war is going to be. So it's uncertainty. He does never really tell us anything clear to us.
President Trump says oil prices will drop dramatically once the mission in Iran is complete. And he says that higher prices are a small price to pay for world peace and security.
I felt pretty secure 3 weeks ago before this war, so I'm not really sure what he's talking about.
Oh my goodness. So it is breaking my heart to see so many un-American, just unpatriotic people complaining right now, okay? Because I'm hearing the MAGA crowd talking about, oh, Lucas, I'm not with Trump because I can't feed my family. Listen, all right? Maybe you should go on a diet, all right? People complaining about the war with Iran. It's not a war. We don't have boots on the ground. And I'm hearing all these complaints. Lucas, I can't pay my bills. Lucas, I don't have any food in the refrigerator. Lucas, my child is starving. Suck it up, buttercup. Okay? Listen. We are going through a recession for peace. This is for peace. Your family is starving for peace. Okay? If it wasn't for Israel attacking Iran, we wouldn't be afraid of Iran attacking us in retaliation. That's what Marco Rubio said. So we have got to fight.
The question is how hard is the pain and how much are people going to have to endure? Gas prices are going up. Jet fuel prices are jumping, and CEOs are saying that ticket prices are also going to go up. Iran just said that the world should be ready for oil at $200 a barrel. You don't agree with Iran on anything, but do you agree that people need to be prepared for that?
We're going through short-term energy disruption for just huge long-term gain. You're seeing Iran's behavior.
Could
They're
that
attacking
hit? Could
every
short
country
term
in the
mean
region.
$200 a barrel?
I would say unlikely, but we are focused on the military operation and solving a problem. I'm not going to guess on short-term trading. That's based on psychology more than flows of oil.
Do you regret your vote right now?
Well, between him and her, I thought he was the better choice, but honestly, I miss my Uncle Joe. I was a nobody, and I was balling then. Now, I couldn't even tell you. I couldn't even show you $5 in my pocket.
We spoke to Trump voters here in Florida who are ticked off about the fact that the gas prices in the state have gone up by an average of about 60 cents within just a week.
I would just wish he'd keep up on his campaign promise and say he was going to put it under $3. He'd end that war so fast, but here it is, 5 years later, helping his buddy out get his more money. And then never mind charging us Americans all sorts of money for fuel that you just stole from Venezuela.
And those gas prices are getting higher because of volatile oil prices due to the war in Iran, a war that these Trump voters tell us they hope wraps up quickly.
If I could, speak to the president, I just encourage him to finish up this war and get us back to a safe world.
He's saying about for our safety, leave somebody alone, they won't bother you.
Hopefully this conflict over there will end, it's just unfortunate.
The overall vibe here at the gas pump amongst these Trump voters is they feel like the economy is not going well right now.
At the moment, I'm really out of work.
My hope is that it's temporary and it doesn't last for too long, that oil prices come back down. That's my hope.
Now, we talk about FAFO. Now, I'm not laughing at those people. But is it called Schadenfreude? What's the term that I'm looking for? I guess it's just FAFO. And it's just really rich right now that those people did not understand, some of them, did not understand the moment. They did not read the room or read the country, their wallets, the bullshit that was being told by Donald Trump. They didn't read behind the between the lines, so to speak, of what was happening in the Manosphere. The people were going, "Oh, great, 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 great." And then he said, you heard what the first guy said. I thought that he would be better than her, meaning Kamala Harris, when they said, and what was the reason for that? There are myriad reasons. But I think the reasons for that, one, misogyny in this country. Can't believe there can be a woman leader. And look, my belief has always been, since I have been aware enough, is that if you want to get something done, hire a woman to do it. When I was at CNN, the people who ran my show, women. People I get most of the breaks to, women. Because if you want to get it done, women of all different ethnicities understand pretty much what it is like to be discriminated against, what it is like to sit in a room and give ideas, and then a man comes in, 30 seconds later, say the same thing and do this, and they go, oh yeah. So women are like, I'm going to get this shit done. One, they have a point to prove, and one, I just think that they are, pardon me, fellas, but I think they're the most evolved of the sexes. Sorry. I was the only boy I grew up, women raised me. I think they're the most evolved of the sexes. Women are not knuckle draggers for the most part. And so they believed that BS that was spread out there. And now you have the Republicans who are there, right? The ones who you saw in that report. And then you have Republicans in general, meaning in the Republican lawmaker leadership class. They aren't willing to call the war what it is. This is from the LA Times, of Republicans not willing to call the war what it is. And this is from Jonah Goldberg. He says, look, Republicans aren't willing to call the war for what it is. And scrolling just a little bit, Andy, because they're afraid. And obviously, they're afraid. We're just going to read the top part of it. So let's state the obvious. It says, we're at war with Iran, even though the administration is saying it's not. My evidence, turn on the TV. U.S. forces are working with Israel. They killed the supreme leader of Iran, many of his top aides. We sunk Iran's navy and destroyed most of their air force. We bombed thousands of military sites across the region. President Trump, the commander-in-chief, has deemed unconditional surrender from Iran. He routinely refers to it as a war. Pete Hegseth, who calls himself the Secretary of War, also describes this as a war daily, such as last week when he said, we are set the terms of the war. The truth that we are at war is simple. Only politicians and lawyers could make it seem complicated. And then he goes on to talk about, and so once you're at war, what does that mean? That there are certain things that you got to do in order to either to continue to facilitate that war, whether that's through, well, first of all, you got to have some dough, and you have to have the weapons to be able to fight it, and you also have to have messaging and a plan. A plan would be good. A plan would be good. Wait, so In this moment now, you have Republicans who are behind the scenes saying, oh shit, the midterms are already in jeopardy. We maybe had somewhat of a fighting chance, but we thought maybe we weren't dead on arrival, but with this, we're DOA. We're DOA. And then you have, speaking of the Manosphere, Andy, I want you to roll this, and then we're going to go to the break. I want you to roll this. This is a short soundbite of Joe Rogan. And that'll give you an indication of where I'm going to go after this, because you're going to hear from a whole slew of Republicans, a whole slew of Manosphere, or just a couple of Manosphere people about where we are, how we're screwed. We didn't vote for this. Please, Mr. President, make it stop. Roll it.
Well, it just seems so insane based on what he ran on. I mean, this is why a lot of people feel betrayed, right? He ran on no more wars and these stupid, senseless wars, and then we have one that we can't even really clearly define why we did it.
The Don Lemon Show is brought to you by the Freedom from Religion Foundation. Now, I've said it before, and I believe it more than ever right now. Equality under the law only works when government stays neutral about religion. The First Amendment wasn't written to protect one religion. It was written to protect all of us, believers, non-believers, and everyone in between. But that promise is under pressure right now from Christian nationalist groups who believe that their religious views should shape public policy and control how everyone else lives. That's where the Freedom from Religion Foundation comes in. They're a national organization fighting to keep church and state separate, defending students, families, and communities from religious coercion and government overreach. So if you believe freedom means freedom for everyone, this work really does matter. So you should visit ffrf.us/Don or text Don, that's DON, to 511-511. That's ffrf.us/Don or text Don to 511-511. And help protect a country that belongs to all of us. Text fees may apply. Support comes from Bio-Optimizers. Now, listen, I want to tell you about something that I'm trying as part of my nighttime routine. I kept hearing about magnesium breakthrough from Bio-Optimizers. Friends were talking about it. People in the wellness world were all talking about it, and they all kept saying the same thing, that this one is different. Well, most magnesium supplements only have 1 or 2 forms of magnesium. Magnesium breakthrough combines 7 different forms, plus cofactors that help your body actually absorb and use it. So I decided to give it a try myself. People say they notice deeper sleep, feeling calmer, better recovery after workouts, even better digestion. But you know me, I like to try something before I recommend it. So far, so good. So I have a challenge to you. Try it with me. Track your sleep. Pay attention to how you feel. See if you wake up more rested. And here's the best part. Bio-Optimizers offers a 365-day money-back guarantee. That's a full year. 0 risk. So go to biooptimizers.com/DonLemon. Use the code DON15 to get 15%.
Guys, can you believe it? Oh! I cannot believe the president is raising the gas prices once again. God, when are we going to get Joe Biden out of office? Wait, what? Who's president? No. It's not Trump. He campaigned on lowering prices on day one. He wouldn't lie to us. No. Really?
Unironically, the best outcome for humanity of this war is an unmitigated American and Israeli humiliation. There are different forms that this can come in, so whether or not this comes in the form of like Trump backing out before he puts U.S. troops on the ground, ostensibly because he got the boss call from the petrodollar states, and declaring some sort of completely hollow victory that the rest of the world sees as totally negligible in the face of overwhelming humiliation, or boots do get put on the ground and thousands of U.S. troops get fed to the fucking wood chipper, and then the U.S. has to pull out in disgrace anyway. Whatever form this comes in, it is still far and away the best alternative to everything else. Morally, this war is already a flagrant atrocity. Strategically, it is a disaster. Ecologically, it is a catastrophe. The U.S. strikes on the oil refinery in Iran have poisoned the air of over 10 million people, potentially up to 17 million people. It is raining oil in Iran. Diplomatically, this war could spell the end of U.S. relations in the Middle East. Iran just announced today that any country that expels its Israeli and American ambassadors will get passage through the Strait of Hormuz. And that's a very big deal because economically, this war has signaled the end times. Trump is personally manipulating the oil futures market by making conciliatory statements, waiting till markets close, and then recommitting to the war path. Let me make something very clear. The global economy is staring down a fucking cliff. Iran has stated they are trying to drive oil prices above $200 per barrel. That is apocalypse level. Even if everything stopped right now, we would still be feeling economic shocks because oil refineries and natural gas infrastructure in the Gulf have already started shutting down, and it takes weeks to get them back to normal production. But if Trump is committed to a larger conflict and indeed considering boots on the ground, as we keep hearing that he is, we are looking at something worse than the 1970s oil crisis, literally unheard of ever since the establishment of the global economic order. In terms of nuclear warfare, we keep hearing that American and Israeli military contingents are talking about this as if they are trying to bring about Armageddon, literally referencing bringing about the end times. And they keep making statements that sound like they are considering using a tactical nuke. Let me also be very clear about something. If nuclear weapons are ever deployed on this planet, we are fucking done. It's almost not worth talking about because, like, what is there to say? Yeah, once nukes fly, it's over for us. And it is a metaphysical, tragic comedy that the ignition button on this world-ending technology is currently in the hands of the most irreverent, fanatical, bloodthirsty monsters that have thus far sought to destroy everything good about this world and do not see any inclination to stop. So yes, with all of that on the table, the humiliating defeat of the US and Israel in this war, potentially striking a lethal blow to the American empire and the entire world order that it has upheld for the past 80 years, is the best outcome that we could potentially see from this conflict. Because I shudder to think about the implications for humanity in any sort of paradigm that the US considers to be a win for itself, and Israel even more so. That is our current situation. That is why the world that you thought you knew before does not exist anymore.
The Trump administration keeps telling us that as soon as they stop this active war in Iran, gas prices are going to come right down. I read something today that told me why that is absolutely not the case, and I want to explain it to you. But what it said is that even if Trump ends this war tomorrow, which he likely can't, the Strait of Hormuz may stay closed for months. It's all because of insurance companies. So most of us have the basic picture right. We understand that oil prices are going up because Trump launched this unauthorized war in Iran. As a result of that attack, Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, the single most important oil transit choke point on the planet. There's no real alternative route, so if it's closed, the world feels it, not just us. So we've got all that, but there is an assumption baked in for most of us, and I think for Trump too, that the strait is shut down because of active fighting, and that once the fighting stops, ships are just going to start moving again. That's what Trump is promising, but he is leaving out a massive factor. The Strait of Hormuz was functionally shut down by paperwork. On March 1st and 2nd, 7 insurance companies filed 72-hour cancellation notices for ships transiting the Persian Gulf, and traffic in the strait immediately dropped by 80%. Not because ships couldn't physically pass. Without insurance, no port will accept you. No bank will finance your voyage. No cargo owner will load your ship. You become a commercially useless object. These 7 companies collectively insure the vast majority of the world's ocean-going shipping tonnage. As long as they refuse to insure, nothing is going anywhere. Now, war risk insurance is still technically available, but policies are now limited to 7 days. They cost more than $1 million per week. That is unsustainable. Financial analysts are warning that even if the bombs stop tomorrow, the strait could remain functionally closed for months afterward because the insurance market and the military campaign are running on completely different clocks. Even after a ceasefire, insurance markets are going to have to rebuild their risk models from scratch, renegotiate capacity through an entire chain of reinsurers, and re-underwrite individual voyages one at a time. Now, Trump has announced the U.S. government will offer insurance to ships in the Gulf and that the military will escort them through if necessary, but so far that hasn't moved any ships because our own Navy has already said it's too dangerous. Also, taxpayers do not want to subsidize insurance for the world's ships. So when Trump stands up and says, "Oh, I ended the war and gas prices are coming down," remember, the people who actually control that strait right now work in insurance offices. They are on a completely different timeline than Trump is. They will say when they're ready to reinsure those ships, it'll be well after the bombs stop falling, possibly many months later. The first $100 tank of gas is coming, folks.
Hello, brothers and sisters. Welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great. I hope you all saw the faces of those folks that were talking in the video. You could literally see the devastation that they have in their eyes. You could see the pain that all these folks had, how they were complaining about the cost of living and all these price fuels, and how they shout out their regret, like even just knowing Mr. Donald Trump, let alone voting for him. And it's crazy that the United States is dragging American citizens into this fight. Trump is dragging American citizens into this fight. All it has for Americans doesn't serve Americans. All it has for Americans is just days of hardness, insecurity, loss of life, loss of property, and everything. I mean, those are the only things that can happen. And Trump is messing up the United States. It's messing up the United citizens real time. So the following are things that people shared in regards to this, and I just want to get you through it, because this is how the American citizens feel like. Somebody said that it wasn't bad information. It was deliberately bad to entice. It did not work on Biden. He's seen the fake smoke. Somebody said that between him and her, I miss Uncle Joe. After all of this, they will still pick Joe Biden. Dementia, elderly, pro-Israel, over Kamala Harris. Black people, it's time to disengage fully. Somebody also came and said that you all say he should end the war, but he started it. Remember, he blames everyone else and will never take responsibility. He listens to authoritarian leaders. Yes, Trump listens to the corporates. The corporates that fund some of the things that he does. Some of these are associated with Israeli. So if you can link the two, you understand what's going on right now. Somebody say that everyone's worried about gas prices, and Netanyahu is fighting for the devil. We are in a spiritual warfare, and it's not in your pocket. Somebody said that President Biden was one who got two ceasefires in place, who broke those ceasefires because he wanted Trump in office. Bibi Netanyahu, I try to tell people this over and over again, and folks were blaming President Biden when they should have seen how he was trying to prevent further escalations. Now that Trump is in office, he has started or escalated at least 3 wars. Gaza is now destroyed. Where are the free Palestine? Provocateurs who vowed not to support Kamala Harris, they are mighty quiet right now. So because of Trump, China is now moving into a position to attack Taiwan. India eyed Pakistan. It was Joe Biden who was expert on foreign policies that every leader around the world looked up to. Even Putin and Netanyahu, they knew they couldn't play Joe, but they could play Trump and get him do their bidding. Americans refused to listen because their hatred wouldn't allow it. Now, this is the price we pay. Somebody said that black MAGA are the most loyal, dedicated, true supporters of Trump. Trumpstein. No one is more supportive, but I will stand true to their word, and their first volunteer from the front line, the mountains of Iran. We will soon see if black MAGA are real men and women, their word. Somebody said that our political system is so corrupt. I'm not that much into politics, but what I can see after living in America all my life is that the Republicans get into the office, blow up the deficit, and Democrats have to do the job of bringing America back from behind. This can't continue to go on. Generations after generations isn't the same BS. While many countries are advising America stays perpetually stagnant, no growth, no rise in income, more taxes, only the rich live well, while everyone else just manages, ultimately, our deaths. Somebody said that when America rejected Uncle Joe, defamed a good and a great man, they sealed their fate. Hard times are coming, and they're looking at the glitter and gold. Their inability to discern the true Christian form of conman has brought their downfall, deliverance, and will not come until they follow Acts 2:38 and repent for sins, racism, and poor decisions. They are crying now, but my empathy is almost gone. It remains mainly for children, wherever they are in Iran and America. Pray for those innocents. I really don't know what you think about this, because I really want to know what you feel like in regards to this. So please let me know what you think about this, right? Those are Americans that have spoken. You are also allowed to speak in the comment section. Please let me know what you think about this, right? I'm your host and presenter, RAGED Stories. But until then, I'm hoping to see you on my next video. But until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.